a big company called Blacrock just said something really exciting at a meeting called Ripple Swell. A person who works there named Maxwell Stein said that the world's money systems are ready to start using blockchain technology in a big way. He also said that Ripple's technology could soon help move trillions of dollars using blockchain. We're going to look at what he said and what it might mean for people who own XRP. I also have a bunch of other new video clips. I haven't shown you this interview from CoinDesk with Brad Garlinghouse yet. We're going to watch that. I have some other things from Swell that I haven't shown on the channel yet. And there are also some really cool things happening with smart contracts on the XRP ledger. So make sure you watch the whole video, guys. You're going to learn a ton of new stuff, which I'm excited to share with you every single day. Let's just do this. Let's go. You did something that made me surprised at first and then really happy. It was when you bought a company called Hidden Road, because it kind of changed things. That's like a new part of the business, right? Yeah, for sure. It means going straight into the markets and working with traders and big professional traders and getting closer to the fast-moving money. You changed the name to Ripple Prime after that. It's the first crypto-native prime brokerage that really has a lot of money backing it up, which has been a problem for other crypto prime brokers. So how important is this plan? It obviously connects with using collateral and payments and stuff, but this is about trading. It is, but it's also about bringing in the slow-moving money. If you want big companies like Citadel and Fortress to be in this market, they need a partner that has the money and the resources to work with them as a partner. And so, I think if we as the whole industry want to keep seeing the industry grow, and obviously Ripple is really focused on the XRP ecosystem, but we want all of crypto to do well. And so I think by having Hidden Road, now called Ripple Prime, with a much stronger financial position, they can work with better partners and do more business. We've already seen since they bought the company, their money coming in has tripled. Their money coming in has tripled. I want to make sure you understand this. Since May, Ripple came in and made Hidden Road's business 3 times bigger. So what does that do? Like when I hear things like that, my brain goes in 100 different directions. But the main thing I'm thinking about right now is they were able to come in and make the business 3 times bigger in just a short time. You start to wonder what kind of pressure this is going to put on other companies competing against Hidden Road to upgrade to the same kind of technology. And that happens with everything that Ripple does. When Ripple goes in and buys a company, they bring in their technology and they can make the business 1, 2, 3 times bigger very quickly. It puts pressure on the rest of the industry. And I'm interested to see how G Treasury will do, like what their growth will be like now that Ripple has come in and what is that going to look like for the rest of the space. Bringing all of these competitors into the blockchain space is only going to help us grow and get bigger. It won't all happen on the XRP ledger, but if we're able to get a lot of it, guys, we're going to be very successful out here. And I think at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do, right? Be successful. Yeah, that's obviously great for us, but it's also great for the industry. No, that's totally true. And then adding in RLUSD and other tokenized products and just becoming so the size of the company, just from the people we've talked to, has just really gotten super big. Yeah, I mean, in the last year, I kind of said this when I started my talk this morning. A year ago, sitting here right now, the SEC was still suing Ripple. And it's amazing, I think we do, because crypto moves fast. You lose track of the big picture. You kind of step back and see how much has changed in the last year. We bought 2 major companies, Hidden Road for $1.2 billion and G Treasury. We made some smaller purchases. A really powerful one that has leadership around stablecoin payments called Ramp. We're obviously very happy with how things are going. And on top of all that, almost like a cherry on top, is the announcement today about $500 million coming in from some of these really big financial institutions that have been, I think, a little more careful. They now feel safe because of some of the rules and regulations that have gotten clearer. You've had a real buying spree over the past couple of years that includes licenses in lots of different places. Talk to us a little bit about Ripple's growth plan. Is this going to continue as you build out your really big financial services company? Yeah, I mean, we're going to keep focusing on being that kind of blockchain infrastructure company for big businesses and financial institutions. I think we will slow down on buying companies a little bit. We've bought a bunch of things that we want to make sure we combine properly. Although my corporate development team would argue that, I was going to say it's easy to sign a deal. It's harder to combine the deal afterward. Sometimes it's hard to sign the deal too. But right now we're going to focus on some amazing companies, some amazing leaders, and how do we bring those pieces together. And you know, we haven't talked about this today, but G Treasury, I mean, they are the money management dashboards for over 1,000 different chief financial officers, managing literally trillions of dollars of payments, hundreds of billions of dollars of, I'll call it trapped money in accounts. And being able to use those by using stable coins, using Ripple payments, not forcing it on anyone, but giving them the choice of using stable coins for payments, holding stable coins as those deposits to make them easier to move is, all part of our plan. All right, like that's what I was trying to tell you at the end there, right? Having all of these big company clients now connected, being able to do all this. Remember those 1,000 corporations, they have a lot of competitors, right? Companies that are competing against them. But when you give them all of this new technology that lets them have more control over their money, being able to move it, being able to earn interest 24/7. These are the kinds of things that make companies different from each other. And that could mean success or failure for any one of these companies competing against each other. All right, let's get to this. Jungle Inc. says Blackrock executive Maxwell Stein says the global financial system is ready for large-scale blockchain adoption and that the technology from Ripple could soon move trillions of dollars on blockchain. Even NASDAQ's boss agrees, once regulations are clear, institutions will flood in. The future of finance isn't coming. It's already being built. And so I wanted to just share some of this here. Of course, Maxwell Stein is part of BlackRock's digital assets team. He said that the global market is now ready for blockchain-based new ideas, and that the technology being developed by Ripple could help move trillions of dollars on public ledgers like the XRP ledger. Remember, like for a very long time, big institutions didn't want to deal with public ledgers. They didn't want the transactions to be out there for everyone to see. But then all of the money wound up on these public chains, and this is where financial institutions will need that money to move trillions of dollars a day. And there's been kind of a welcoming moment here for public blockchains like the XRP ledger, like Solana, where you're having a lot of this big institutional development happening on them, which is great for the industry. And so I did do a whole video of the interview between Adina Friedman and the president of Ripple, Monica Long. That was a great interview. That was maybe like 3 days ago we put that out. If you haven't watched that, please do. Some of the things said here, Adina Friedman also participated in Ripple Swell 2025, saying that once the rules become clear, big institutional players are likely to flood into the blockchain space, making mainstream adoption happen even faster. Friedman's speech is widely seen as a strong endorsement from traditional finance for Ripple and XRP or XRPL, showing that blockchain technology is moving from niche experiments to basic financial infrastructure. And some of the takeaways here, the 2025 conference had leaders from BlackRock, NASDAQ, MasterCard, Fidelity, and other financial giants, showing a strong institutional shift toward tokenization, stablecoins, and working with regulations. The general agreement was that Ripple's efforts have laid the groundwork for real-world blockchain use in payment settlements and asset tokenization. And the comments from BlackRock point to a potential future where trillions of dollars flow into the blockchain systems. All right, now we did have this other clip from Brad Garlinghouse about Citadel. I'm going to come back to this because I think you have seen this already a few different times, and I wanted to talk about a few other things that I think are very important. I'll get to that clip at the end if you really want to watch that. But here, let's play this. This is from, remember, Merrick works at Ripple. He's a senior executive officer and managing director of the Middle East and Africa at Ripple. We've seen a lot of new ideas in the UAE and South Africa, and a lot of new partners actually starting to happen in Africa, and that's because of Reese Merrick's hard work with his team there. So let me play this. Franklin Templeton Digital Assets shared this. This is Sandy Call here. I've actually played a lot of clips from her. She's really cool. I would love to see billions in brand new assets that have never existed before that we can now bring onto blockchain because of tokenization, where the operational difficulties of being able to manage them at a large scale. Things like intellectual property rights, sports team ownership, right? Things like this. I hope that we're able to have billions of brand new assets that never existed before. Amen. I mean, the women here sitting at this round table here, this is Ryan Rugg in charge of digital assets at Citibank. I'm not sure who this lady is here, but you have some of the biggest giants here, right? The people that are leading the charge for this technology build out are here at Ripple Swell sharing what they think the future is going to look like. And we need to be paying attention. We need to be listening to these people. because these are the people actually in charge of managing tens of trillions of dollars around the world. And if they're telling us this is the future, we need to start listening. All right, so Dennis Engel said the XRP Ledger smart contracts feature is now available for developers to explore and test on AlphaNet, a special development network. This groundbreaking addition brings native Layer 1 smart contract abilities to the XRP Ledger, combining the familiar design patterns of the EVM-style contracts with the power of the XRP Ledger's native features and transactions from the bottom up. And so Krypton Ritter commented on this, and let me show you this because I thought he did a great job. If you want to follow Krypton Ritter, he puts out a lot of really good information about the XRP space. I trust a lot of what he says and posts. He says a big change is on the way for the XRP Ledger, and Dennis provides the foundation for developers to play around with. Make sure to try and test the XRP Ledger smart contracts on the AlphaNet and send him feedback. And so simple use cases, or sample use cases, excuse me, smart contracts on the XRP Ledger unlocks lots of possibilities. We're talking about cross-chain bridges, integration with new bridging protocols, DeFi protocols, derivatives, perpetuals, advanced trading systems, right? The cool thing about the XRP Ledger is anybody can come in and build an advanced trading system on top of the XRP Ledger and take advantage of its low cost, fast speed, and security. It talks about token utilities, staking rewards, and issuing tokens. That's what we're seeing a lot happening on Flare right now. I was just in a really cool space today. This is Friday. This will come out probably on Sunday because we have a lot of content still that needs to come out. But I was in a space with Flare and Spark Dex, which is one of the biggest decentralized exchanges on Flare, and they shared a lot of interesting information. Go take a look and listen to that hour-long space. I think you're going to get a lot out of it. It should be on my page on X. Governance systems, on-chain voting and proposal mechanisms, gaming, decentralized game logic and asset management, and marketplace logic, custom rules for NFT marketplaces. So you can see that there's a lot of use cases here that we definitely want to be built on the XRP Ledger. And also think about the use cases that we're not even thinking about right now. That is what's so cool about the crypto space. We're always growing. We're always learning. We're always reinventing and creating new ways to do things. And I don't think we have stopped here. I think it's going to be an incredible next few years here. Here's Stuart Alderoty. Actually, I haven't seen this clip. Chief Legal Officer at Ripple. I was at the CoinDesk interview after his panel. Let me play it. Stuart, talk to us a little bit about the doors that have opened and how the conversations have changed with some of the Wall Street giants here. Well, I think it's both in terms of personally Ripple's lawsuit with the SEC, or the SEC's lawsuit against Ripple that has ended. It was over in August of this year. We won in the district court. The SEC appealed. The SEC dropped the appeal. Done and finished. We are over. And we're in a unique position because that lawsuit victory gave Ripple and XRP and the XRP Ledger that we rely on in our products absolute legal clarity. That by itself puts us in a very unique position. With the change of the administration, though, we went from a war on crypto to a goal of making the United States the crypto capital of the world. So in terms of the 1-2 punch, the momentum in terms of our personal victory in the court followed very quickly with the administration's commitment to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. The momentum that brings is just tremendous. And I think that leads to the conversations, the financial institutions knocking on the door, our ability to do the buying and merging transactions that we've been doing. All of that could not have happened with both the lawsuit victory and I think the change of the administration. Stuart Alderoty is basically saying here, without the win from the judge, that XRP is not a security, and the overall kind of Ripple win here, they wouldn't be able to be in the position that they are in currently to go out and buy these companies, to go out and have these meetings with the heads of Wall Street and financial institutions all over the world, especially here in the United States, and move forward with these partnerships. So I think there was a lot of value in what he said here. Here's Matt Hugin on the ETF era of crypto. I'm doing a full breakdown on spot XRP ETF products that'll be coming out over this next week. If you're interested, look for it the same day this video comes out. Absolutely, we think there's demand for exposure to a large number of those altcoins. I think that you'll see assets like XRP and other major assets get their ETFs relatively soon. We've seen filings from the SEC, not talking about any specific filing, but we've seen those moving through the system. We're going to wake up in 6 months and investors are going to be able to use high quality, low cost ETFs to access the top 10, maybe top 20 ETFs. And then the next exciting thing beyond that is you're going to start to see ETFs that package those together in diversified exposures. Those index-based ETFs, I actually think could be one of the surprises of the market. I think they could be bigger even than the Ethereum ETF. So there is definitely more coming from Bitwise. We've entered the ETF era of crypto, and I think that's a very good thing for investors. The ETF era of crypto. Guys, you know what? I'm going to leave this clip down below. We're already a little bit long here on the video, and I know your time is precious. If you want to watch this Brad Garlinghouse Ripple Swell valuation of $40 billion, go down in the description of the video. It'll be there for you to click on and take a look at. Thank you for joining me here today. If you got any value, you can like the video, you can leave a comment down below, you can share it with a friend or family member. I just greatly appreciate your time. Have a fantastic weekend and a good week ahead. Love you.